Okay, let's go ahead and see how you did on your close and check. Remember, you should not be checking your answers until you're all done. So write the ratio of the number of bees to the number of flowers. So remember, we want to get in the habit of simply underlining things that are important. So I want bees to flowers. So I have 4 bees to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flowers. Okay, so there's one way. The second way is with the fraction. And the last way is simply 4. Sorry, it's not the easiest thing to write with 4 to 7. All right, let's go ahead and look at the second question. Find a ratio equivalent to 63/77 with lower terms. So what I need to do is I want to think of common factors. The greatest common factor will help me find it a little bit faster. So I know that the only factors of 77, I like to start with the big one, are 1 and 77 and 7 and 11. And 63 is not divisible by 11. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and divide each one by 7. Remember, when I divide by the same number, it's like dividing by 1. 7 sevenths is equivalent to 1. 63 divided by 7 is 9. 77 divided by 7 is 11. They can't be divided further because they have no common factors, so that would be 9/11. The next one's a little bit trickier. It says a baby boy weighs 7 pounds 8 ounces. A 5-year-old boy weighs 48 pounds. Write the ratio of the baby's weight to the boy's weight as a fraction in simplest form. Well, the first thing I need to do is I need to make sure that they have the same unit, which at this point they don't. This has pounds and this has ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to the smaller unit, which is ounces. So I'm going to take the 7 pounds. I'm going to multiply that times my conversion factor, which is that there's 16 ounces equal 1 pound. So I'm going to go ahead and open this on a new slide because it looks kind of busy. So 7 pounds 8 ounces over 48 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and I have 7 pounds, and we said 16 ounces equals 1 pound. And I want that pound to cancel out, so I'm going to put the 16 ounces over the 1 pound. Same as 1, just like we were doing earlier, pound and pound cancel. So I have 7 times 16. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply that. 6 times 7 is 42. Put the 2, carry the 4. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 4 is 11. So this 7 pounds is the same as 112 ounces. Now I need to do the same thing on the bottom. I'm still using 16 ounces over 1 pound, and this is still over 1. But now I've got a much bigger problem. 48 times 16. 8 times 6 is 48. Put the 8, carry the 4. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 4 is 28. Now I'm technically multiplying 48 times the 10 now, so I need a placeholder of a 0. 8 times 1 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. So that would be 768 ounces. So I'm getting a pretty big problem here. So I know now that 7 pounds is 112 plus 8 is 120 ounces to 768 ounces. Okay, so when I look at this, once again I'm going to erase this just so it doesn't look so messy. Now I need to divide by a common number. Well, these are pretty large numbers, so I might want to go ahead and maybe I'll just start with, I want to find the greatest common factor, but since these aren't the prettiest numbers in the world, I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2 and see what that gets me. That gets me to 60 ounces. 768 divided by 2 My little picture is going to be in the way there. So, sorry, that should be an 8. Okay, 16, sorry, and then my 8 will come back down. Sorry if you can't see that. So my answer is 384. I can see right away I can divide out another 2, so I could have divided by 4. I'm picking numbers that maybe you would have originally picked. Divided by 2 again, giving me 30 ounces over, erase some of this up here, make it a little easier to see. I'm going to start up a little bit higher this time. So I have 384 divided by 2. Notice I'm kind of showing you my operations. It should be something you remember how to do from, and if you don't, that's okay. We'll work on that. Oh, now I'm at 192 ounces. Once again, they both end in an even number, so I can divide them by 2 again, giving me 15. The ounces will cancel, so I can stop writing those. I'm going to divide again. This gives me 9, 18, 1, bring down the 2, 2 times 6, gets me to 96. Now when you look at that, you might be going, okay, it's not even anymore, and I'm at 15/96, okay? But I can tell it's divisible by 3, and here's how. 1 plus 5 equals 6, and 6 is divisible by 3. 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 is divisible by 3. Therefore, I know that I can divide these both by 3. Those are some cool shortcuts that you might need to, we might need to spend some time on. You just need to tell me, and we can work on some of those shortcuts to help us know when we can divide. So this would be 5, and 96 divided by 3, 3. $32. I can't divide them further because 5 is a prime number, and so I can only divide it by 1 and 5, and I can't divide 32 by 5, so therefore I know I'm done. That was a long problem, which should have taken you some time, and so I was looking for 5 to 32. Now let's look at this one. How can the terms of a ratio be used to write an equivalent ratio? So for this, I'm just looking to see if you can explain that we can change it into a fraction, and then we can find an equivalent fraction. So it's just showing, so I can multiply them by a common number in order to find a new name for that ratio. Do students each write a ratio comparing the two shapes in the group? Can both students be correct? So let's look. We have 6/4 and 2/3. If you haven't finished this one, make sure to pause. Okay? Can they both be correct? Well, if they were comparing the two shapes in the group, we're looking first to see how maybe they came up with the 6 to 4. So when I look here, we can see that this student did circles to triangles. Sorry, my handwriting with this thing is not the best. 2/3. So think about how maybe they got that. 2/3. Well, I can see right away that maybe they reduced. So could they both be correct? Yes, but they are not writing the same ratio. Otherwise, they'd be equivalent. Now, if they said 3/2, then they would both be comparing the same ratio. But in this case, the first student is looking at circles to triangles, and the second one is doing triangles to circles. Okay, so check your work. How did you do? If you weren't sure, this one was a little bit, number 3 was pretty tricky. It had multiple steps. So you might need to watch that little part again, and that's okay. So when you looked at this, think about how well you understood it so that you're ready to start your homework. All right, and remember, you can watch these videos anytime to help you. All right, nice work.